ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ DCEಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. I am Jyoti, Assistant Professor, GFGC and PG Center, Chintamani. In this presentation, I am going to explain crystal systems. This presentation includes crystal systems, Bravais lattice, Miller indices, spacing between lattice planes of cubic crystals. The learning objectives of this presentation are to make the students to understand the meaning of crystal structure, concept of space lattice, unit cell and basis, classification of crystals into crystal systems and Bravais lattices, concept of Miller indices and Bragg planes, steps of writing Miller indices, method of obtaining expression for spacing between lattice planes of cubic crystals. Before going into the main topic, let us recall states of matter. We know that matter exists in 4 states: solids, liquids, gases and plasma. Let us consider solids. Now solids are classified based on number of criteria. For example, based on electrical properties, solids are classified into conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Based on magnetic properties, solids are classified into diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic materials. Now we are going to discuss another way of classifying solids, that is crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Now this classification is based on the arrangement of the constituents of solids. Now let us discuss what are the differences between crystals, that is crystalline solids, and amorphous solids. Now in crystalline solids, we are going to observe orderly arrangement of the constituents, whereas in amorphous solids, constituents are arranged in irregular manner. Cut pieces of crystalline solids will have sharp edges and smooth surfaces, whereas in amorphous solids, we are not going to notice the sharp edges and smooth surfaces. Crystals will have sharp melting point, whereas amorphous solids will have broad melting point. One more difference between crystalline and amorphous solids is crystals are anisotropic in nature, whereas amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Now let us discuss crystalline solids in detail. Based on the binding force existing between the constituents, crystals are classified into ionic crystals, atomic crystals, molecular crystals and metallic crystals. In physics, we have a separate branch known as crystallography, in which we are going to study the geometrical form, that is structure and other physical properties of crystalline solids using either X-rays or electron beam or neutron beam. If we use X-rays in order to study the structure of crystals, then that branch is called as X-ray crystallography. We are familiar with structure function correlation. We know that function and properties of any material is directly depends upon its structure. Similarly, if you want to know more about the properties and applications of crystals, first we have to understand its structure. Now, what is the meaning of crystal structure? Crystal structure refers to the size, shape and arrangement of its constituents inside the crystal. Crystal structure can be easily described with the help of two concepts. One is an imaginary geometrical concept, and this concept will give the location of the constituents, and this is called as space lattice. And another one is a real chemical concept known as basis, and it will give an information about the constituents which are present in the crystal. Let us know more about space lattice and basis. Space lattice is defined as an infinite array of lattice points arranged in a regular periodic fashion in 3-dimensional space, such that each point in the space lattice has exactly identical surroundings. Now, space lattice is an imaginary concept, and this is used in order to describe the geometrical arrangement of the constituents of the crystal. This space lattice is made up of lattice points which gives the location of the constituents, and these lattice points are arranged in a periodic manner, and this periodic arrangement will extend in the three-dimensional space, provided each and every lattice point in the space lattice should have identical surroundings. Now let us understand this space lattice with the help of a figure. And here on the slide, there exists a two-dimensional arrangement of the lattice points. Space lattice is a three-dimensional concept, and here let us imagine that we are having such an arrangement of the two-dimensional points one above the other, so that we are going to have a three-dimensional arrangement of the lattice points. Now look at the space lattice. Each point is having exactly identical surroundings. Such an arrangement of the lattice points is called as space lattice. Now here on the slide, there is one more example for space lattice. Since the space lattice will give the geometrical information of the crystal structure, it is also called as the skeleton of the crystal. A space lattice is described with the help of coordinate system having three axes called as crystallographic axis X, Y, Z, and the three fundamental translational vectors along three directions which are called as lattice constants. Lattice constant along the crystallographic x-axis is denoted as A. The lattice constant along crystallographic axis Y is denoted by P, and the lattice constant along the crystallographic z-axis is denoted as C. Let us know about basis. Basis is defined as an unit assembly of atoms or ions or molecules identical in composition and arrangement to be repeated at the lattice points to generate a crystal structure. Now basis is a real concept. It is a chemical concept. That means using basis you can able to know the elements which are present in the constituents of the crystal. The number of atoms in the basis may be as low as 1, and there exist structures in which the basis contains more than 1000 atoms. For example, in case of monoatomic crystals, basis will contain only one atom, whereas the crystals of proteins and vitamins will have bases which are made up of more than 1000 atoms. By combining geometrical and the chemical information of the crystal, we can able to understand its structure. That is, by fixing the basis of the crystal at each and every point of its space lattice, we will obtain the structure of the crystal. That is, space lattice plus basis is equal to crystal structure. Let us understand this relation with the help of the figure. Assume that this is the space lattice of a crystal which is having a basis which contains 4 different elements as shown on the slide. Let us fix the basis at each point of the space lattice. We will end up with the crystal structure. Let us know more about the space lattice. Space lattice of a crystal extend up to infinity. Therefore, it is very difficult to study the entire space lattice. But in space lattice of every crystal, there exists a portion with the help of which we can easily describe the complete space lattice. Now this portion is known as unit cell. The smallest portion of space lattice which can generate the complete crystal by repeating its own dimensions in different directions is known as unit cell. Now let us understand unit cell with the help of a figure. Now imagine the space lattice as shown in the figure and assume that the lattice points in the space lattice are connected by lines. And if you carefully observe the space lattice, there exists a small portion which is repeated in the space lattice. Now that smallest portion of the space lattice is known as unit cell. Unit cell is also called as the basic structural unit or building block of the crystal structure. Knowing unit cell is equivalent to describing the space lattice of the crystal. And therefore, let us understand the unit cell in detail. Unit cells of crystals are parallelepiped as shown in the slide and completely described with the help of 3 lengths and 3 angles as shown in the figure. The 3 edges with lengths A, B and C along 3 crystallographic axes X, Y and Z are known as lattice constants or are primitives. We describe the unit cell with the help of 3 angles. Angle between edge B and C is denoted by alpha. Angle between edge C and A is denoted by angle beta, and the angle between edge A and edge B is denoted by the angle gamma, and these 3 angles are called as interfacial angles. To describe the unit cell completely, we require altogether 6 parameters, 3 edges and 3 interfacial angles, and these 6 parameters are known as lattice parameters of the unit cell. Types of unit cell. Unit cells are broadly classified into 4 types: simple unit cell, face-centered unit cell, body-centered unit cell and end-centered unit cell. A simple unit cell is one which is having lattice points only at the corners, and this simple unit cell is also called as primitive unit cell and it is denoted by the letter P. Face-centered unit cell. If an unit cell is having lattice points not only at the corners but the lattice points are also present at the center of all the 6 faces, then such an unit cell is called as face-centered unit cell and it is denoted by the letter F. And if the unit cell is having not only the lattice points at the corners, if it is having one more lattice point inside the unit cell, then such an unit cell is called as body-centered unit cell and it is denoted by the letter I. The last one is end-centered. It is also called as base-centered unit cell, in which the lattice points are present at the corners and 2 more lattice points are present at the center of the 2 parallel faces. Depending upon the position of the face-centered atoms, end face-centered unit cell are of 3 types: A-centered, B-centered and C-centered. Now let us understand the classification of crystals. Crystals are classified into 7 crystal systems on the basis of the unit cell parameters, and on the basis of the space lattice, the crystals can be classified into 14 Bravais lattices. Now these classifications can be easily understood with the help of the table as shown on the slide. Now, based on the lattice parameters, that is unit cell parameters, alpha, beta, gamma and ABC, the crystals are classified into 7 crystal systems. The 7 crystal systems are cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, rhombohedral or trigonal, hexagonal, monoclinic and triclinic. Now look at the third column. Now if the 3 lattice constants A, B and C are equal in lengths, and if all the 3 interfacial angles are equal to 90 degree, then such crystals belongs to cubic crystal system. Suppose the unit cell of a crystal are related in such a way that A is equal to B and B is not equal to C, but all the 3 angles are equal to 90 degree, then those crystals belongs to tetragonal crystal system. And similarly, the lattice parameters of the other crystal systems are shown in the table. Now, on the basis of the space lattice, if we observe the cubic crystals are having 3 types of space lattice. One is simple cubic, body centered cubic and face centered cubic. Therefore, the cubic crystal system is having 3 types of space lattices. And if you look at the orthorhombic, now this orthorhombic crystal system is having 4 type of space lattices: simple orthorhombic, body centered orthorhombic, end centered orthorhombic, face centered orthorhombic. And these 4 space lattices are denoted by the letters P, I, C, F. And altogether, if you observe the 7 crystal systems, we will get 14 types of space lattices, and these 14 types of space lattices are called as Bravais lattice. And here the last column will give the examples for different types of crystal systems and also different types of Bravais lattice. Now let us understand the meaning of Bragg's planes. In a crystal lattice, there are sets of parallel equidistant planes which have larger concentration of atoms or molecules at the lattice sides, and these equidistant parallel planes are known as Bragg's planes or lattice planes. Now let us understand the meaning of Bragg's planes with the help of a figure. Now look at the slide. Here, imagine the presence of a 3-dimensional space lattice, and this 3-dimensional space lattice can be imagined to be made up of set of equidistant parallel planes. And here on the slide, the lines represents the planes which are perpendicular to the plane of the screen, and the entire space lattice can be imagined to be made up of such parallel equidistant planes. And these parallel equidistant planes which covers all the lattice points of the space lattice are known as Bragg's planes. Now you can imagine the presence of Bragg's planes for a space lattice in number of ways, and different way of writing Bragg's planes is shown on the slide. And here we can easily notice one set of parallel planes are different from other with respect to the orientation, also with respect to the space between the two planes. Now here the lines on the two-dimensional screen represent the planes of the three-dimensional space lattice. Now these planes are called as Bragg's planes. Since one set of Bragg's planes are different from other set, it is very important to name these Bragg's planes. Miller gave a method to designate these sets of parallel planes in terms of a set of three integers h, k, l known as Miller indices. Miller indices of a plane are the reciprocals of the distances from the origin at which a given plane intersects the three crystallographic axes. Knowing the Miller indices of Bragg's plane is very important in crystal structure determination. Now let us understand the steps of writing Miller indices for Bragg's planes. First, we have to determine the intercepts of the plane along the three crystallographic axes x, y, z in terms of their lattice constants a, b and c. And these intercepts are denoted by the small letters x, y and z. Next, we have to divide these intercepts by their respective lattice constants, that is x by a, y by b and z by c. The next step is we have to take the reciprocals of these intercepts, that is a by x, b by y and c by z. If these reciprocals are integers, then they are nothing but the Miller indices of the plane. Suppose if the reciprocals are fractions, we have to do one more step. We have to reduce the reciprocals into the smallest set of integral numbers by multiplying the reciprocals by the LCM of their denominators. Then we have to enclose the resulted integers inside a parenthesis and they are called as the Miller indices of the plane. Therefore, the Miller indices are expressed in terms of the intercepts and lattice constants as shown in the slide. That is h, k, l are nothing but a by x, b by y and c by z. If we know the intercepts, then you can write the Miller indices by using this formula. Suppose if we know the Miller indices and if we want to sketch the plane, then we need the intercepts. Therefore, the intercepts of the planes can be calculated by using the second formula which is shown on the slide. Therefore, if you know the intercepts x, y, z, you can write the Miller indices, and if the Miller indices are given, you can sketch the plane by finding their intercepts using the second formula. Let us practice writing Miller indices for a plane with an example. Look at the slide. Here we are supposed to write the Miller indices for the plane which is highlighted by the color. And what is the first step? First step is we have to identify the intercepts of the plane along the three crystallographic axes. Look at the slide. The x-intercept is 3 times a, y-intercept is 2 times b and z-intercept is 2 times c. Therefore, the intercepts of the given plane are 3a, 2b and 2c. Next step is we have to divide the intercepts by respective lattice constants. That is 3a is divided by a 2b is divided by b and 2c is divided by c. Then we will left with 3, 2, 2. Third step is we have to take the reciprocals. Therefore, the reciprocals are 1 by 3, 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. And since here the reciprocals are fractions, we have to do one more step. That is, we have to multiply these fractions with the LCM of the denominators, and here the LCM of the denominators is 6. Multiply each fraction by 6. We will get 3 integers, 2, 3, 3. 2, 3, 3 are nothing but the HKL value of this plane, and these 3 integers should be enclosed in a parenthesis, and therefore this plane is called as 2, 3, 3 plane. Now this is how we can write the Miller indices of a plane. Now we know that space lattice of any crystal can be imagined to be made up of set of equidistant parallel planes known as Bragg's planes. And one can imagine Bragg's planes in number of ways, and different sets of Bragg's planes will have different Miller indices. And it is possible to express the spacing between the lattice planes in terms of the Miller indices. And as an example, let us consider the cubic crystal. And here, in case of cubic crystals, since the interfacial angles are equal to 90 degree, we are going to use orthogonal coordinate axis to obtain the expression for the spacing between the lattice planes. Now you have to imagine here the presence of cubic space lattice, and the space lattice is to be imagined to be made up of set of equidistant parallel planes whose Miller indices are H, K and L. Among the number of planes, let us fix the origin of orthogonal coordinate axis at the lattice point of one of the plane. And let us consider the immediate next plane as shown in the figure. Now O is the origin of the orthogonal coordinate axis x, y and z, and this O is fixed at the lattice point of the one of the plane which is passing through the origin. Now here in the figure, ABC is nothing but the next immediate plane. That means we among the number of planes, here we have considered only 2 planes. One is passing through the origin, and ABC is its immediate plane, and this plane will intersect the 3 crystallographic axes with an intercepts x, y and z as shown in the figure. Now let us draw a normal from origin to the plane ABC, and let this normal passes through the plane and the normal intersect the plane at point P. Since the OP is the perpendicular distance between the 2 planes, one which is passing through the origin and another one is ABC, then OP is called as the interplanar spacing, or OP is called as spacing between the lattice planes. Now we have to obtain an expression for this OP in terms of Miller indices. And let OP makes an angle Q with x-axis, it makes an angle R with y-axis, and let it makes an angle S with z-axis as shown in the figure. Now here you can imagine the presence of three right-angled triangle at point P. One triangle is OAP, right angle triangle. Here OP is normal, therefore this angle is 90 degree, and OP is the adjacent side of this right angle triangle. Similarly, if you join PB, you will get one more triangle OBP. This is also a right angle triangle, and OP is the adjacent side, and here we are having a 90 degree. There exists one more right angle triangle, and you will get that by joining P and C. And therefore, at point P, you can imagine the presence of three right angled triangle, and for all these right angle triangles OP is common, and therefore here we can define cos of angle Q, which is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse. For the triangle OAP, the adjacent side is OP and the hypotenuse is nothing but OA. And OP is nothing but the interplanar spacing of the HKL planes, and therefore it is denoted as DHKL, and OA is nothing but the x-intercept of the plane, and which is nothing but x. Similarly, define cos R and cos S, and you will get cos R is equal to DHKL by Y, cos S is equal to DHKL by Z. And for orthogonal coordinates, we have a relation cos square Q plus cos square R plus cos square S is equal to 1. Therefore, substitute the value of cos Q, cos R, cos S, then we will get DHKL square divided by x square, DHKL square by y square plus DHKL square by z square is equal to 1. But we have the relationship between intercepts and HKL values. X-intercept is nothing but A by H, Y-intercept is nothing but B by K, and Z-intercept is nothing but C by L. Substitute the values of these intercepts in equation number 1. We will get DHKL square as common. You take out the common, and the remaining is H square by A square plus K square by B square plus L square by C square is equal to 1. Now let us rearrange this, and we are going to get 1 divided by DHKL square is equal to H square by A square plus K square by B square plus L square by C square. Now this is a relationship between interplanar spacing DHKL and Miller indices. You can also write this equation in the another standard form, which is nothing but DHKL is equal to 1 divided by square root of H square by A square, K square by B square plus L square by C square. Now this is the expression for interplanar spacing of a primitive cubic space lattice. It is a very important equation in this presentation. The learning outcomes of this presentation are: from this presentation, students were able to understand the concepts of space lattice, unit cell and basis. The students were able to understand the classification of crystals into 7 crystal systems and 14 Bravais lattices. They can be able to write the Miller indices for Bragg's planes, and they can also draw Bragg's plane for a given Miller indices. Students can able to express the interplanar spacing in terms of Miller indices, and they can also solve the problems related to the topics that are discussed in this presentation. Thank you.